welcome to another episode of Cities Skylines Netherlands. In today's episode, I address all the comments and amazing feedback that I got from the last episode. It was super useful, and I think I've come up with a really cool solution that'll help us progress the series while maintaining a cool level of detail. So I got a lot of comments mentioning, just different things that could be done. And the one that stood out to me the most was about doing pre-made detail packages. These could be bike racks, cafes, things like that, that I can just plonk down throughout the city or blocks that we place down. And that's going to be the route that I go with. It ends up being super heckin' useful and allows me to get a lot more done. As you notice, this episode is a little bit smaller than the normal episode. Not by much, but it is. And I could have fit more in, but I decided to kind of focus on this, like the topic of the episode, so to say, and the ideas, which are kind of finding out a solution for the detailing that I was a little bit worried about. Like, how am I going to do this while maintaining that Dutch feel? And I really think that we've got a great idea here going forward. And a lot of people mentioned, why don't you just focus on detailing the areas that matter? And that's absolutely what I'm going to do. If we have an area like the main square, the church, let's say a school, or just points of interest, let's put a little bit more elbow grease into those areas, and let's leave the suburbs to just be suburbs. It's amazing what a couple trees can do to really transform a block, and they really help you save on over detailing. And so I think I found a really good sort of balance here for detail versus scale. Been watching a whole heck ton of Jeremy Thunder as well. Vogelstad, one of the best Dutch series out there. And yeah, that kind of helped me to find that sort of middle ground of what do I want to do? What do I want this series to be? But again, a huge thank you to everybody who gave feedback on it. Now, this episode happened actually twice, and it relates to why you're going to see a little bit more vanilla vehicles in here. Don't worry, they will be removed going forward. But I was actually really worried. It seemed like the series might have been dead before it even got started. But it turns out the issues I was having, so nobody was spawning. No people would come into the city. Now, with this being a harbor-only start, there was potential that it could be an issue with the harbor. Checked through all that. Tourists were actually able to come to the city. I turned off realistic parking for TMPE, and that ended up solving all of my issues. I've never seen that before and had no idea that TMPE's realistic parking could cause those kind of issues. It's caused issues in cities before, but never an issue where people couldn't spawn. As soon as I removed that feature, the floodgates opened, and as you can see, we don't have a crazy population, but the city feels so much more alive and full with actual people moving around and doing things. So I was really happy to get that sorted. Let's talk about what we're seeing on screen here. So today we're going to fill out some blocks, and that's the goal of today's episode. How much can I get done with this new approach to detail versus scale? And I'm really proud of the results. It means that we're going to get a lot of progress done in not an insane amount of time, which is really cool, but still have it look and feel Dutch, in my opinion. Welcome into all of the people that are new from the Netherlands as well. I've got a lot of cool messages and comments, and I just want to say, man, huge shout out to the Dutch community, all of you and your support, your feedback, your comments. It means so much to me. I cannot wait for my first trip to the Netherlands, hopefully soon. And we're going to fly right over Amsterdam, straight to Alkmaar, hit up Utrecht, Zwolle, a bunch of other amazing places. But back to what you're seeing on screen here. So I'm just trying to figure out what buildings will fit the area and trying to figure out that size as well, too, for it. Now, I've talked about this in previous episodes about the skyline, and it's not just like a flat height like you would see in something like Paris, but it is still an interesting skyline in a lot of Dutch cities. Now, obviously, there's cities that have bigger skylines, Rotterdam with a lot of apartments that we've talked about last episode, but I think in this one, I'm trying to go for more of, like, I don't think I'm going to use a lot of the Amsterdam buildings. I have a set of Revolutie Beau, I think it's called. Now, I'm probably butchering that. Buildings that are common throughout Amsterdam, and Seabud has absolutely gorgeous buildings for it. But unfortunately, I just don't know how I will fit them in. If you have any suggestions on how I could fit those assets in, let me know. Because again, the inspiration really is Alkmaar, Utrecht, and Zwolle, as well as a couple of the cities on the Frisian Islands, I think they're called. And people have been suggesting, because this is a one-tile island city, Denbrug, I think is the one that I'm thinking of. But yeah, coming in here and trying to figure this out, using a lot of Jazz assets. They are phenomenal. The texture work on it is just, man, it blows me away. He is so damn talented, and I cannot wait to get Jazz on here for a guest build. Man, it's gonna be so cool when we get Jazz in here doing his stuff. So excited for that. I don't know what he's gonna build either. If any of you have, like, I'm sure Jazz would love to hear in the comments if you're like, oh man, get Jazz on to build this. I'm sure he'd love to, but yeah, he'll be coming in pretty soon here. I'm thinking maybe something related to streetcar or rail. And you might be thinking, but this is a one-tile city, that's crazy. Oh, it is crazy. And Jazz is a crazy kind of guy. If anybody can pull it off, it's him. So I'm just filling in these blocks, trying to get this all lined up and make it look good. And you got to really mesh these buildings together and squeeze it in these tight areas to sort of make it fit and sell the picture. But if I'm being honest, I am blown away by how this looks already. We're only 3 episodes in, and at the end of this episode, it looks phenomenal. Now, this building was acting up. I would keep raising it up, and it kept sinking. So convert it to PO, and that solves your problem sometimes. I know a lot of people say hashtag say no to PO. Listen, PO saves my problems. So hashtag say yes to PO. Coming in here and just lining up this waterfront, and again, wanted to do a focus on Jazz assets because I think the quality of them is phenomenal. And this is going to be an area that can be looked at, probably a spot I would take screenshots at that will be a feature spot for cinematics as well. And with that, I want to kind of give it the best look I can and put my favorite assets and things that I really love into it. And this would just be a really cool spot to bike around. Again, stop at that coffee shop that we built out there earlier, the asset that we placed on the corner. When we get it detailed up, like, hey, sign me up. I'm going for a bike ride down there, stop and grab a coffee. Now, one house is really cool, too. It has a little mural on the side. That's, man, I love buildings like that. The coffee shop does there as well, too, which is really cool. What we're going to do here now is using these Jazz props. We're going to come in and just give a light little detail, fence off the area. And again, this comes back to the thing of it. Like, I can do these details now really quick, but I do want to hear from all of you. What do you think of this going forward? Because there was a mixed bunch of people saying, nah, continue what you're doing, or you should try this instead. This is what I'm going to do. Like, even, I mean, if I get a bunch of negative feedback saying, nah, it needs more detail, then, you know, we'll do that. But I think we found a cool middle ground that'll work for everybody, where it feels detailed enough for the detailers, but we get enough progress done for those that are here for the progress. And I'm really, really excited for this. So I hope you all do enjoy this and like what I come up with, what that sort of middle ground looks like for me. Coming in here with a bunch of different trees. Now, I'm using a lot of the trees to hide stuff, so this might be, like, it might be too many trees, and people might be like, oh, there's not that many trees, you know, in the back lots of the Netherlands. I don't know, right? You know, not being from there. I got Google Maps, sure, and I do see a lot of foliage in the Netherlands. But if this does feel like too many trees in the back area for those of you watching from the Netherlands or people that are knowledgeable in the Netherlands, it just kind of is what it is, because I'm using them to hide the lack of detail, right? And so trees can give that realistic look where it looks beautiful from street level. You see these trees out behind the buildings, but it helps to hide sort of the stuff that I'm just kind of, I don't want you all to see. I mean, you see it when we're building it, sure, but I'm thinking more for screenshots and cinematic videos that this works a lot better. So now we're finally coming in to use these prop packs that I have placed, and I'm going to dive into more detail on them, what I've made, and what the idea is in the live play. And that'll come up after the time lapse here, as if you've seen our videos, you know kind of what the format is there. But this coffee shop here, that really cool mural, this building's from Rotterdam, and that's just going off of the mural. The fact that the mural says Rotterdam, it doesn't necessarily mean that the building's from there, but maybe. So I'm coming in here to sort of figure out how to set these up, and then we got to come in and add these seat markers, which I thought I had added, and that was the plan before I built, was to build this out and add those, but it turns out that I forgot to. So that's fun. Well, we get them in the end. And what's really cool about these is that they allow people to sit at them. So you'll actually see people coming here and interacting with this area. And that's so heckin' cool, because it gives it this life. Like, people go there, right? Tourists will come there, citizens will come there, and they just interact with the environment. And I think it's just really cool. Another way to add this level of atmosphere that the city really feels alive and feels like there's people in there. So yeah, just really excited for that. What I really should be talking about more, but I think I'm going to talk about this a lot in the Rural Canada A episode that's going to come out on the Monday following this video on the Friday here. I get early access to City Skylines 2. And so next week, there will not be an episode of City Skylines Netherlands. I might put it out on a Saturday, but I think we're just going to take a week off. And that's because on Friday, September 8th, I'm going to be putting out a video about City Skylines 2. So what I'm going to ask is for all of you to comment below, if you want, or share your ideas. What would you like to see me build, and what would you like to see from a City Skylines 2 video? I'm kind of trying to figure out if I do a North American city or a European city. Obviously, I'm a Canadian moose, so it makes sense to do a Canadian one. But if I'm being honest, I'm really enjoying Europe and European cities, countries, I should say, European countries. Mainly the Netherlands. It's my favorite country in Europe, 100%. But following that would actually be Sweden. I'm kind of blown away by the cities in Sweden. Sweden, Norway, and Finland. That part of Europe, I really, really like. And that would be second to the Netherlands. Now, obviously, without bike infrastructure, they've said that there's no bikes in the game. It's unfortunate. It would be very hard to do a European city. But yeah, let me know. What would you like to see from a City Skylines 2 video? And that'll be coming out next week on September 8th. So instead of City Skylines Netherlands next week, you all will get a first look gameplay video of City Skylines 2. So I'm super excited to get that out for everybody. So just coming in with these detail packs here, and I think you're already seeing it, and hopefully you feel how I feel. I am so excited for this, because I think it's going to allow us to focus on exciting things, have a main project, grow out the city, but still maintain a level of detail street-wise that I am satisfied with, because you come in, you plop down a bunch of these, and it's super straightforward. It saves time. It allows me to get these videos out to you in a, without them being crazy long. Not that I don't imagine many people would mind if they're, an hour long. It is what it is. But, I don't know, it keeps it shorter. And they're not always going to be like this level. It's just I had a big emphasis and focus in this episode about addressing the comments in the last video based on the question that I asked, asking all of you for your help and your ideas. And I think this is kind of the perfect middle ground, so really excited with that. We're adding those seat markers, or I should call them butt markers, essentially what they are, and adding them to the bench here, and then we're just going to raise that up, get the level all correct. And again, this just allows people to interact with these benches, giving these props some life to it, allowing people to use them and interact with your city more. They are so damn useful. Gonna come in, I believe, let me see. Yes, garbage. Yeah, of course. So we're coming in here with the garbage assets. And what I'm going to do here, so I made a version that has a person there, and maybe I'll make a couple more so it's not all like the same repetitive one. But I thought it was kind of cool to have a person like that looks like they're there interacting with it. I thought it would be cool for one of the variants, and then we made one that's just like empty regular. And I got comments that these are very common and to place them everywhere. So let me know if I'm overdoing it, if I place too many. But this is me basically acting on the comment of these are super common, they're everywhere, place them everywhere. So I do that. I go ahead and place them everywhere, based on that one comment. And we got some really cool packs as well too that I made of like knocked over bikes that I think are really cool. You're gonna see me place those here, and I think it just adds like a funny, cool little thing. I don't know. I'm so stoked on this episode, and I hope you all enjoyed as much as I am. But I'm really happy with the end result, and knowing that this didn't take that much time, like looking at how long it took to put this together. This really opens the gates of like the sky is the limit here. Like I really feel like I was a bit nervous in the last episode of like, man, it's going to take so long to get stuff done if I'm detailing to this level. But this just feels so much better while maintaining a cool look overall. If we ever did a biking tour, people always do these driving tours of their cities. We should do a biking tour of our city. It would be so cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and spam these all over just for I guess you could call it for memes and for fun times, you know? We're going to come in here, and the last thing we do in today's episode is expand this canal. So we're going to extend it down, and it's going to end at some point, maybe at the edge here. I'm not too sure, but I'm going to come in and get the lines here that I want using that wooden side that I had used on the other one already. Going to line those up, and then we're going to come in and terraform a way to get this open, and I'm really excited with how this canal turned out. So this is our second canal, because, yeah, we had that first canal that leads up and ends at the church. So this would be our second canal in the city that we're getting closer to completion here. And I'm really happy with how it's starting to look and the way that the canals are shaping up. And, man, it just, I don't know, I'm loving this. I love the Netherlands. I love this build. It's been so much, excuse me. It's been so much fun putting this build together. And man, it was crazy to think, like, I was so nervous, but all of you have been so kind and supportive and helpful in the comments. And you have no idea how much that means. Like, yeah, seriously, I really appreciate every single one of you who stopped by the YouTube channel here to check out the videos and support this little neck of the woods, man. It's so cool. Really, really cool. So we're coming in with more of those gravel or sand, gravel, I think, surfaces, and that just gives it that kind of more realistic look than just grass at the bottom of it. I think it really adds a nice little touch to it. And then we're going to come in with these lily clusters and spam these all over. They add so heckin' much to the build. Like, just so much. And then I think the last thing that we do is spam down some beautiful, beautiful Dutch houseboats. We'll speed up the game as well, too, to let the water flow in. Get those Dutch houseboats in as well, too, I believe, coming up next. Yeah, here it is. Speed it up. Let the water come in. Let the water fill up that canal. Already, it's looking so good. This series has such a cool atmosphere to it, man. I'm really excited. But I'll leave you now before Moose 2 comes in. Enjoy some houseboat placement. And yeah, I'll catch up with all of you for the live play. I'll see you all very shortly. Shortly? I'll see you all soon. Anyways, I'll catch you all in the in the live play. Welcome back, everybody, to the live play portion of the episode. Enjoying a beautiful coffee today in... what is this? Rotterdam. Well, TBD, to be named city. Oh, that's great. Okay. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed the episode there. It was a lot of fun to put together, but we do have some things to go over because we've been doing something different with this episode. So I got a bunch of comments in the last episode, and thank you so much to everybody who did comment. One of the big comments I got was saying, why don't you just do some detailing packs, detail some stuff out yourself, and use those to spam in areas that are going to be less detailed. And I think the approach going forward is going to be this. This was a lot faster to put together, and I probably could have fit another build in here. And actually, the plan was to fit in a cool little Dutch windmill near the entrance of the city. But, spoiler alerts, that's coming in the future. And we could have done more, but I figured, you know what, let's keep it down and let's talk about what the future of this project looks like, and it's this. So we're going to be spamming these in areas that, yeah, just to help progress the build along. So we've got, like, now... I don't know if this is a thing. I haven't seen this in the Netherlands, so I haven't placed it yet because I want to hear from you on this episode. Is this stacked biking? Now, is it a thing in the Netherlands, I guess, to finish my point there is the question. But, and I'm sure it is, and I think I know it is in underground parking garages, but would this just be out in public? Like, you know, something like a bike rack, right? Like what we have here? Let me know. I could build out, like, for an episode, a fun little detailed underground parking garage. Like, I saw that there's a new one in Amsterdam that looks really cool. We've got some knocked over bikes. A lot of people were saying just spam bikes everywhere. Fallen over bikes would be a lot of fun. And ones that we can put in the canal that nobody will see, but if you watch the episode, you know that they are there. On top of that, we got some really cool benches detailed out we'll have seats so I can plonk it. People will sit at it. Boom, done. garbage, bunch of tables for detailing, little detailing pad there for a cafe, and then one with the Heineken. And I think that's what we're just going to do. I think it worked out really well. And I think this is the proper way to progress it. You know, use enough that it gives it that Dutch flavor, but don't over detail it. There's no need to over detail this stuff. I mean, if we come from like, oh, look at that view with the church. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that is phenomenal. Man, what an asset by Mac Welshman, eh? That just ties the whole thing together. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is looking exactly how I wanted. That's awesome. And like you come down and it's still got like decent street vibes. People enjoying some stuff out here by the floating houseboat because, you know, that's what happens in the Netherlands. Houseboats sometimes have to float, you know? And you know, the water's still filling up the canal here, so you know it is what it is. It's a dry season here down at this canal. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out and how this whole build turned out. And again, just for the backyard, slap some trees in there, good to go, and move on. Let me know your thoughts now. This is me taking all of your feedback into consideration and an idea that I came up with. Let me know what you think of this going forward. I do think this is what we do because it allows me to get a lot more jam-packed into the episodes, a lot more content for you out there. Now, something that I need to also address, I've been messing around with some vanilla stuff, and some of my vehicle settings and game enter key settings got messed up, so you're going to see these around, and you did see them throughout the episode. Do not panic. As soon as I wrap up the commentary here, say goodbye to vanilla vehicles and say hello to European vehicles. Oh, man. I want to give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to everybody who supports me over on Patreon and Coffee. Disney Dude 1, Shane Turner, Fish Bob, Hey Guy Buddy, Brayguard, William Epps, the Yed _ Anthropophagic, the Jonah, Trevor Sabo, and Poplar Ponderosa. Thank you so heckin' much for your support. It seriously means so much, and helps support the content that we're doing over here. Yeah, that's all I got for you today. As always, remember, no matter what life throws at you, you matter, you are loved, you have a purpose. I'll catch you all in the next episode. I'm a Canadian Moose. Happy building, eh?